Hello and welcome to this video about an Esoteric X-1 CD player. This sort of came straight from Japan to me, or maybe via this collector from Melbourne, which sometimes sends me stuff. It is a very nice and heavy unit, not as lavishly looking champagne front as a lot of Esoterics are. This is sort of matte and plasticish front. But the rest of it, as you see, the top is beautiful, and it's formed from two sections. That hole there, in case you're wondering what it is, it's a window to see the disc spinning, and there's a lamp here that you can engage, and it sort of comes on. You can see stuff happening. The top is very nice, and it comes, as I said, in two sections. This is the first one that comes off. And then there's a second one here. Very nice solid pieces. What we have here is a solid engineering from TIAC. You know, TIAC does the TIAC brand does the Esoteric for audiophiles and Tascam for professionals. Power supply, as you see, has huge amounts of spare capacity there. And it's you know, sports the same rails, copper rails, as Sony Player do. So obviously there's a lot of there's very little resistance on those rails, and the traces to components just go from there. So there should be very little resistance, rather than having a thin line going from the power supply all the way there. Power supply also has huge capacitors and 8 regulators on either side there, 9, 10, 11, 12, and there is 2, 3, 4, 16 regulators all up. Mechanism KSS-151A, another iteration of VRDS. This time this is a pretty heavy, it's probably the heaviest bridge that I've seen, with fully metal disc there. Unknown material of that tray, some kind of epoxy or something, but it's some special plastic or not, I don't know. Some of you would have noticed that we have 2 rails, which happens only in the best and all the units. On the mechanism side, the belt there, because the problem with the unit is that the tray doesn't travel. That's a pretty weak belt there. And for the first time I see a couple of belts. You see there's a hole there, and you can, there's a couple of belts that are visible. One of them, I think one of them just fell off. Yeah, one of them fell off, and that's why it's sort of looser. That one, the belt that you can see there, it's pretty good, but the other one was very loose, and I think just fell off. But obviously they got to be, all 3 will be replaced soon. I'll have to see if there's access from underneath, otherwise the whole mechanism will have to, you know, obviously come out. One thing to do when you're working on mechanical things like that is to disengage the drive. I'll just remove that spring and line. The steel line winds 3 times again around that pulley and once against that pulley. So then the mechanism is free, and the mechanism should, or the tray should really go in easily, you know, without any obstruction. There's something holding it there. Maybe it's old grease, maybe something else. So that's that. As you see, transformer is encased in Faraday cage, decent size. Audio board, as you see, the balance outputs. I don't know as yet whether it's properly, truly balanced, but it looks like it can be, because we have 4 analog devices, 1862s there. These are the 4 DAC chips. And further on, it appears that there are those power op amps there. You can obviously adjust levels. And what else? Well, somebody has been there before, because these are all Sanyo Oscons, the blue ones, and a few there. And normally Esoteric uses Nippon Chemicons. Sometimes some Elners, but normally Nippon Chemicons everywhere. We have some Panasonics in here, and I think those Panasonics also are part of recapping. But I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. I have to sort of see the soldering. But I haven't seen Panasonics in Esoteric in live.